Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Jerome.
This is the case of Jacobs versus Walker.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Jacobs, you claim that your world was shattered just after your 14th birthday when your dad suddenly up and disappeared.
Yes, Your Honor.
Today, you say you've brought him to our courtroom to demand answers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Walker, you claim you'd always believed Ms. Jacobs was your biological daughter. Then on her 14th birthday, you overheard a conversation that changed everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Walker, tell me, what happened on your daughter's 14th birthday?
On her 14th birthday, Your Honor, we were outside celebrating with 4th of July. I heard an argument inside the house. So I go in to see what's going on, and my ex-wife, her mother, and her sister was in there, and she was screaming at her mother like, well, she was drinking, so she was being belligerent and stuff. She's like, well, you know there's a chance they're not his kids, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to tell him, but I had done slipped in and was standing right behind her and overheard all of it. So.
And what did you say? What did you do next?
I asked her, I said, why? Why would you do it now, 14 years later, at her party, when we're supposed to be having a good time with her birthday, and you wait 14 years later to drag it out?
Wow. And then what happens at that point? The relationship ended. You ended the relationship.
That's correct.
So wait, Miss Jacobs, did you overhear or know all of this was going on at your 14th birthday party?
No, I actually just seen him walk out of the house. He was really angry, so I didn't understand what was going on at all. So after that, we ended up being put in foster care. And when I was in foster care, my father had left, and we were in Florida at the time. He ended up moving to Ohio. I was a big daddy's girl growing up, so I started to feel abandoned, like he just ran off and left me. So I actually have a letter here from where I took, and I wrote it when I was 14, when my dad actually left.
Can you read that for the court, please?
I can. It says, Dad, I wish you never left. It really sucks that you're not here. Every night I pray that you come back. Sometimes I even pretend that what it would be like if you were still here. I don't know when I'm ever going to see you again, and it hurts. I'm kind of angry about it too. Why did you ever leave me? Why did you abandon us? Abandon me, of all people. I want this to all be a dream, but it's not. I don't understand why you moved to Ohio and had to leave us behind. You were my hero, and every girl needs a hero. Don't you want us anymore?
And you wrote that letter to your dad?
Yes, Your Honor.
At the time you wrote that letter, did you know your father at that time didn't know whether he was truly your biological father?
No, Your Honor.
You had no idea?
I didn't understand until I was 16 years old. It was really hard. I actually ended up getting pregnant when I was 16 just to be emancipated.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you got pregnant on purpose?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's obvious that you were looking for the family you didn't have.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Walker, you had no idea your daughter was going through all of this?
No, Your Honor. The foster care, she went to foster care because I had a job, and when I threw her mother out because of all that coming out at her birthday party, I set her mother out. I had enough. Your Honor, I went through it all through, even before her and I got married. There was times that my family would come to me. I was over the road truck driver, so I was not home all the time. My family would come to me and say, hey, we lived in a mobile home. He said he'd walk around and hear him in there having intersexual relations. And I would confront her with it, and I'd say, look, as my significant partner, I should be able to trust you, so I'm asking you, did this happen? She's like, no, you know they're just trying to do it to break us up because our family don't get along. They don't want you with me. And I was like, okay, you know, that's fine, you know. And I took her at her word. I knew I could be faithful, so why would I call her a liar?
So, did you ever actually catch her cheating?
I did at one time. She told me I could go visit my brother, and she was going to go visit her mother. Well, and I called her a few hours later at her mother's house, and her mother answered the phone, and I said, is she there? And she's like, well, no, she ain't been here all day. I said, she's supposed to be at your house. And so I needed her to watch the children so I could go to work. So I go out looking for her, and I start out at the Walmart where I normally know that she goes, and I caught a guy down there that I knew worked with her at her job. And I asked him if he had seen her. He's like, well, no, she's probably hanging out with this guy that she's always meeting after work here in the parking lot. And I said, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, her and him, they've been sexually in a relationship now for about 4 months.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
He says, you know where he lives? I'm like, no, I don't know where he lives. So he said, well, I'll give it to you. He wrote the address down. I said, I don't even know how to get there. And he said, I'll give you directions. I went down, and when I got to the house, I knocked on the door, and she was sitting in on the couch. They were all drinking. It was just her and 5 other guys.
You get to this house, and your wife is inside with 5 other guys.
Yes, Your Honor.
Drinking.
Yes, Your Honor. When
Continue.
she could be home helping me with the kids. So I looked past him through the doorway, and I said, you need to get your butt home so you can watch the children and I can go to work. And she come out all mad, and we were still arguing all the way home. So when we get there, she still wanted to fight about it. And I told her, I said, what were you even doing down there? And then I confronted her about the Walmart thing from her friend saying that they've been in a relationship ever since she started working there. And of course she denied all that. And I'm like, well, then why did I catch you at the dude's house drinking beer with 4 other guys and him? So how are you going to deny that when I catch you at it? She's like, well, we weren't having sex. I'm like, well, okay, I can blow that off, you know, because they weren't doing nothing other than sitting and drinking beer. So I believed her at that once again. Then probably about 2 weeks later, I went to work, and I come home, and her bags were gone. She had done packed and moved out. So once I found out where she was at this guy's house. She had moved in with him.
Really?
Yes.
So, Ms. Jacobs, had you ever heard any rumors that Mr. Walker may not be your biological father?
Yes. When I was 16, I told my mother that I didn't want to be around anymore, that I wanted my dad to come down for my daughter's birth, well, her birth. I had her when I was 17. And when my mom found out, she was like, I don't know why you would want him to be there. He's not your real father anyways. That means he's not her grandfather. And that's when I looked at her. I kept her out of the birthing room when I gave birth to my daughter.
Really?
Yes.
So had you heard rumors about her cheating?
I seen it myself.
As a young child?
I was 5 years old.
What
Yeah.
did you see exactly?
My dad was at work, my mom was home, and a family member of mine came over to the house. They ended up taking a shower together. I went into the bathroom, I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She goes, I'm just getting a shower, go away. So I went into the living room, I was watching TV, I was watching cartoons, I'm a little 5-year-old. So I went, and when they came out of the bathroom, they went into the bedroom. And I walked back, I was like, Mom, I was like, I'm hungry. She goes, go lay down for a little bit, we're going to sleep. So again, it was my family member. As soon as my dad got home from work, I let my dad know. He confronted her. She told him that I was lying, I was making up stories. And my dad looked at her and was like, I don't understand how you think a 5-year-old has the time to sit around and make up stories about adult content.
So this was a family member of your father's?
Yes.
So when they came over, you knew who it was?
Yes. Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor, I did.
Walker? You remember this incident?
I do, Your Honor. I do. I came home, like I said, I drove truck for many years of my life, and I had come home to my daughter meeting me at the door. She said, Daddy, he's supposed to take a shower with Mommy? He's supposed to take naps with Mommy? I'm like, well, no. She's like, he was, Daddy. He took a shower with Mommy. So I did confront her mother with it, and her mother's like, she's a 5-year-old. You're going to believe everything a 5-year-old says? Oh, yeah. And I told her, I said, where does a 5-year-old even have time to sit and think
capacity
about
to
something for an adult?
Yes.
And she's not thinking nothing about an adult way. She's thinking how to play with her Barbies or something.
Yes. And so now, as you stand here, do you believe any of these men we've discussed could potentially be Ms. Jacobs' father?
I think it's possible, Your Honor, because years later on down the road, her mother did admit to sleeping with several of my family members. When I took her to court, Your Honor, the only thing she wanted in the divorce was the property and the contents of the house. And I said, give me my kids, you can have everything, anything you want. I brought the divorce papers with me to back that up as evidence.
Jerome, will you please hand that to me?
I've done nothing but fight for these kids, Your Honor. I love my children. My children are my world. And the state that they moved into believed they were a mommy state. And because she kept calling my work and telling them that I was on drugs repeatedly, me being a truck driver, I had to go do drug testing at the company's expense. They let me go after the 8th time because they no longer could afford to keep sending me for the drug test that kept coming back negative.
And so, Mr. Walker, this evidence that you submitted to the court, all of the pleas, paperwork, documents related to the years that you fought to get your children.
Yes, ma'am.
You are fighting for these children.
Ever since I...
Not even knowing if they're truly biologically yours.
Biologically or not, Your Honor, these are always my children.
Ms. Jacobs, did you know as all of this was transpiring, did you know any of this was going on?
No, Your Honor. The entire time my mom was telling me that he abandoned me and he didn't want me anymore.
That's a lie, Your Honor. Her mother did nothing but feed all my children lies. I got paperwork on top of paperwork to show them when they came to me asking me for results. I could show them in paperwork and let them read for themselves so they can't say, Dad, you lied to me, because I'm proving it to them. I'm giving them the paperwork, letting them read it, letting them see the hell I went through with this woman.
So, Ms. Jacobs, hearing your father, the man you believe is your father, hearing his testimony, how does that make you feel?
I mean, when I actually just got back in contact with my father after 5 years just a month ago.
Really?
Yes. So he did show me all the paperwork and everything like that. I felt horrible. I really did, because I told him I wanted nothing to do with him. Wow. So I felt like the most horriblest daughter on the face of the earth. I felt like I didn't deserve to be around my dad at that point in time.
I knew she felt pain, Your Honor. So when she told me I was the most horrible parent she had ever met in her life, I didn't hold that to heart. I knew she was in pain and she needed to vent. I wasn't there to feed her a stack of lies and wasn't going to feed her a stack of lies just so she would hate her mother. I've tried to raise my children right. I love my children. I gave them all the love I could ever give them. I put her through college. I put her through modeling school. I think I've done my best. I am a real hard-working family man. I love my family.
Ms. Jacobs, do you believe you are Mr. Walker's biological daughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes.
And so, Mr. Walker, I have to ask you, what are your other doubts?
All my doubts together goes all the way back to in my childhood. I was probably 6, 7, maybe 8. My mother, my grandmother, all of them would tell me, because I can't remember back that far into my own childhood. I didn't have a real great childhood. They told me back in those younger years I had the mumps. And back then they believed if you had the mumps as a male, if they dropped, then you would be sterile. Well, they didn't want you bouncing around and stuff like that. Well, I was a young kid, so I did a lot of bouncing. I did a lot of jumping, a lot of playing. The mumps had so-called fallen, and our medical physician for the family told them I would never be able to give my parents grandchildren.
Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings.
Everything, you know, I never questioned her. I never called her a cheater. I never asked her, hey, are you sure that's my kid? I didn't ask that. I'm like, wow, I'm going to be a dad. It's the best thing in the world to feel after being told all your life you're never going to have no kids.
Jerome, I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Jacobs v. Walker, when it comes to the paternity of Miss Aisha Jacobs, Mr. Walker, you are Aisha's father.
I love you.
Well, I hope that now that you have the truth, there's no more doubts. You can put the past behind you and let it just be that, the past, and move forward to a brighter future. I wish you both the best, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Court
you,
is
Your Honor.
adjourned.